In the last 500 years, Filipinos have fought for freedom, unity, and equality. We have made our mark in many fields, from science and medicine to culture and the arts. We are beacons of creativity, resourcefulness, resiliency, and compassion. In 2021, the Filipino people will join the world in commemorating one of the greatest achievements of mankind, the first circumnavigation of the world. We celebrate this historic achievement by bannering an important message. Over adversity and struggles, we shall triumph, putting humanity first, always.
Mandirigmang Pilipino, dakila ang lahi ko, bayaning Pilipino sa makabagong panahon.
Kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang mag-ibig, pero sa sinakanan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyag ka ng mag-ibig, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagagang tutok sa simoy at sa langit mo bagaw, ay hinatang tula, kawin sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang lang matawad mo'y tagumpay na nag-iindig, makituwin at araw niya kailan pamay di matidinig. Luman ang araw ng walhagin pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang higaya na pagkay mga api, at mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Good evening ulit mga kapamana. Welcome again to your favorite heritage webinar series, ang Pamana Talks. Ako po si Joel Ador, ang inyong host for tonight. Today is May 28th, and we are on our final stretch of our celebrations for National Heritage Month with the theme Victory and Humanity, Upholding Filipino Heritage and Identity. No? But today we're also commemorating something very important because today, May 28th, is the National Flag Day. And our commemorations for the National Flag Days will run until June 12, when the whole Philippines will celebrate the 123rd anniversary of the Philippine independence from Spain. So sa June 12, magdiriwang po tayo ng ating Independence Day na may temang Diwa ng Kalayaan sa Pagkakaisa at Paghilom ng Bayan. Kaya po, inaanyayahan po namin ng bawat Pilipino na maglagay po ng bandila ng Pilipinas sa bawat bahay at gusali, sa labas po ninyo mga bahay at gusali, upang ipakita natin ang ating paggalang sa ating pambansang watawat. Yan. Para po sa mga programa at aktibidades ng National Flag Days at ng Kalayaan 2021, mangyari lang pong i-like at i-follow ang National Historical Commission of the Philippines official Facebook page at facebook.com/NHCP 1933. Also, the the National Quincentennial Committee official Facebook page as well for the ongoing commemorations of the 500th anniversary of the first circumnavigation of the world of the Philippines, the arrival of Christianity, and the victory in Battle of Mactan. Follow them at facebook.com/NQC2021. Of course, we also are asking you to, of course, like us and follow us on our Grupo Kalinangan Facebook page at Grupo Kalinangan. Also to our social media accounts on Instagram and Twitter. Sa ating handle po nakikita niyo po dyan at Grupo Kalinangan. You can also subscribe to our official YouTube channel. Also, if you want to receive email updates about our upcoming events, activities, and any heritage news here in the Philippines, you can sign up for our newsletter at our website, grupokalinangan.org. Okay, so tuloy-tuloy pa rin po ang ating celebrations ng National Heritage Month hanggang sa huling araw ng buwan nito, buwan ng Mayo. At ngayon pong gabi ay may inihanda na naman po kaming isang espesyal na Pamana Talks para po sa inyong lahat, mga kapamana. Pasensya na po kanina, naitagalan lang po kami by 30 minutes because we had some challenges to overcome. But we're now here and we're very happy to have you again. So, bago po tayo dumako sa ating talk ngayon pong gabi, ay gusto po namin bigyan ulit kayo ng webinar guidelines at meron po kami mga bagong tutuloy po para sa inyo. So please take note lang po, okay? So, again, para sa mga nanonood po sa atin ngayon, please make sure that you view the live stream via a reliable internet connection. Also check your audio or wear a nice pair of headphones. You can also watch the YouTube live stream on our Grupo Kalinangan YouTube channel if you have problems viewing the Facebook live stream. Also, if you are a registered participant and you're at the GKI Pamana Community Facebook group, please grant StreamYard permission to see your name at streamyard.com/Facebook para po sa mga first-timers po namin dito. So, para naman makita po namin ang inyong pangalan pag kayo po ay magko-comment or magpapa-shoutout or kung meron po kayong mga katanungan po sa ating speaker, go to streamyard.com/Facebook at i-click nyo lang po ang button na ito. Ito po nakikita nyo pong button na says, Let's StreamYard see your Facebook live comments. Okay? Para po sa mga registered participants po natin ngayong gabi, mag-post lang po kayo ng inyong mga questions to the comment section on the Facebook or YouTube live stream. And we will try to accommodate all your wonderful questions on our allotted time for this webinar. And if you want to personally ask a question to the speaker via video conference, you can also join us to the video conference link to be posted on the GKI Pamana Community Facebook group. So please make sure that you check your camera and mic settings so the speaker can see you. Now, para po sa mga nag-register at naghahangad po makakuha ng inyong e-certificate of participation via email, please make sure that you fill out the evaluation form. Okay? So, link to the evaluation form will be posted on the GKI Pamana Community Facebook group a few minutes after the online lecture ends. Yung ating po mga nag-register, mga registered participants, please make sure that you enter your correct email address para po ma-receive nyo po ang inyong e-certificate. Kasi po marami pa po mga nagtatanong hindi po nila na-receive yung e-certificate. Baka naman po mali po yung na-type nyo pong email address. So double check lang po ninyo. Okay? If still tama naman po yung inyong inyong email address na type, i-check nyo rin po ang inyong spam folder. Baka doon po siya napunta. Okay? At you have until 11:59 p.m. tonight to fill out the evaluation form, after which the form will be automatically closed. So pasensya na po, but we will only allow you to fill out the form until 11:59 p.m. tonight. Now, beyond that, requests for e-certificates beyond the allotted period will be subject to a processing fee of 250 pesos. Malit lang naman po yun. Pero kung ayaw nyo po magbayad, just make sure that you fill out the evaluation form on time para po libre po ang inyo pong e-certificate. Okay? And again, please share this webinar to your family and friends. Marami na naman po kayo magpapulutang aral na naman po ngayong gabi para po sa ating Pamana Talks. Para po sa panghuling edisyon ng ating Pamana Talks ngayong National Heritage Month. So, ayan. So, okay. Batiin po muna natin at pasalamatan ng mga sumusunod na grupo na Facebook pages na tumutulong po sa ating Pamana Talks ngayong gabi. Salamat po sa Cultural and Historical Affairs Office ng Cebu City. Maraming salamat po sa inyong pagsuporta po sa amin. At syempre po, tungkol po ito sa inyo, ang ating webinar po ngayong gabi. So salamat po sa inyong suporta. Salamat rin po sa Angono Cultural Heritage Office, the Cagayan Museum and Historical Research Center, the Cagayan Cagayan Heritage Conservation Society, Taguig Heritage Society, ang ating mga kasama po sa NHCP, Museo ni Ramon Magsaysay, the Negros Museum, the Museums of Bantayan Parish and Bolhon Parish sa Cebu. Okay, para po sa inyo itong webinar nito ngayon. Mga kasama po namin sa Makati Poblacion Heritage Conservation Project and Tuklas Pilipinas, ang mga kaibigan po namin sa Museum Pambayan ng Barong at mga kaibigan po natin sa Local Historical Committees Network. Sige, magpa-shoutout na po tayo kay Miss Mirlanen Morales Kalupig. Amazing day and National Heritage Month, everyone, from Tourism and Culture Office of Municipality of Cavinti sa Laguna. Ayan. Kasama po namin siya sa batch 11 po ng Cultural Mapping Facilitators Training Program na kakatapos po lamang. Kay Miss Nina Crystal Sumintak na Imbagarabii, watching from Lawag City, maraming salamat po. To Glar Feldonia, good day everybody. Hello, all the way from the UK. And happy Flag Day everybody from Tugigaraw City, Cagayan. Hello from Prince Wilson, Makarubo. John Gilbert Bulletin from Liloan, Southern Leyte, and to Mr. Edward Perez, good evening po. At sa lahat po naman nanonood po sa atin from different Facebook pages na nakaantabay po sa ating Pamana Talks yan. Okay, so let's get down to business, all right? And let's start our webinar. So, nako, nakakamiss po talaga pumunta sa Cebu. You know, one of my favorite places in the country is the province of Cebu. And I've been to this province so many times. I always look forward to going back there. Lalo na pag natapos na po itong pandemic na to at pwede na po ulit makapunta. When the quarantine is over, that will be one of my to-do lists. Dahil nakakamiss po talaga ang Cebu. Nako, bukod sa mga nagagandang tanawin, mga nice beaches, the very vibrant city life, and of course the very relaxing provincial life, and not to mention the friendly Cebuanos out there. So shout out po sa mga kaibigan ko po dyan, mga bisdak. Syempre po, Cebu is known for its beautiful church heritage, no? And of course, being the cradle of Christianity in the Philippines, you know, Cebu is home to so many beautiful churches that are also regarded as tourist attractions, no? At bakit nga ba binibisita ng mga turista ito, mapa Pinoy man o mapa international tourists? Bakit nga ba sila sikat na puntahan? Well, of course, the good thing with Cebu and with its churches is that many of them are very well preserved. talagang magaganda at talagang naaalagaan sila ng gusto. And some of them even went through subsequent restoration projects in the last few years na talaga namang kahanga-hanga po ang kanilang mga restoration and conservation works. And because of the state of conservation of the ecclesiastical heritage of the Archdiocese of Cebu, tourists there like me will always have a reason to visit every time because they can still see history that is alive before our very own eyes. And I've been around so many places here in the Philippines, no doubt. But Cebu by far is one of those very few places who have been able to really preserve their churches properly. And it's something that the province can be very proud of because they serve as an example and a model for other dioceses to emulate. And it's through the painstaking and very hard efforts of the Cebu Archdiocesan Commission for Cultural Heritage of the Church through the years that they were able to really take care of their churches up to today. Kaya naman po, ikinagagalak po namin makasama ngayon sa aming palatuntunan Pamana Talks ang ating guest speaker ngayon upang magbahagi ng mga kwento tungkol sa kanilang mga programa, mga proyekto at mga aktibidades sa Archdiocese of Cebu ukol sa pangangalaga at pagpapanatili ng mga simbahan sa kanilang probinsya. So our guest speaker tonight is a parochial vicar at the Cebu Metropolitan Cathedral. Bukod po sa pagiging pare, this will be the first time we will have someone from the clergy joining us in the Pamana Talks. Pero bukod po sa pagiging pare, siya po ay isa ring fitness buff. He is a triathlete who participated at the triathlon, yung Cobra Ironman back in 2015. So, kahanga-hanga po ito kasi talagang syempre, very active ang kanyang lifestyle. He also served as a professor at the San Carlos Seminary College in Mabolo sa Cebu City mismo. And he was also the chairperson of the venue committee for the International Eucharistic Congress na ginanap po sa Cebu noong 2015. And of course, more importantly, he is the ongoing chairman of the Cebu Archdiocesan Commission on Cultural Heritage of the Church. Sa kanyang pamumuno, he helped promote the church cultural heritage of Cebu through conferences, digital interactive exhibits, publications, pastoral works, and most importantly, yung mga several conservation projects nila na pagkarami-rami and talaga nga namang kahanga-hanga at something that we should be able to emulate. And on a personal note, malaki po ang pasasalamat ko sa ating guest speaker ngayon because siya po ay naging katuwang ko po sa aking NCCA project ng 2014 at i-document ang mga church ceiling painting sa Cebu at Bohol. At dahil po sa kanyang tulong ay naging maayos ang aming proyekto doon. So, with that, I would like to, of course, welcome Father Brian Brigoli. Akala ko po naputol na po kayo.
Yeah.
Salam.
It's a good thing that I resurrected.
And sorry, we had some technical issues earlier, but thank you very much, Father Brian Brigoli, for giving us time to do this talk about KAPANULONDANAN sa Simbahan sa SUGBO, the heritage conservation works of the Archdiocese of Cebu. So again, pinakikilala po namin sa inyo si Father Brian Brigoli. Maayong gabi sa iyo.
Maayong gabi, Joel.
So alam ko po mga napaka-busy po niyo, pero kumusta naman po kayo? How's the celebrations of the Quincentennials there?
Yeah, and we are still moving forward because we just opened the whole celebration for a year last April 14. That marks the 500th anniversary of the first baptism, and it will be culminated next year on the same month. That means we have a whole year of celebrations scattered around the parishes and of different events and activities.
Talaga namang ang dami yung mga nangyayari ngayon sa Cebu, no? Siyempre, bukod sa mga state activities, pati rin po ang ang Archdiocese napaka-busy kasi syempre diyan po unang diyan po nangyari ang kauna-unahang baptisms
Yes.
and the first conversions of the natives to Christianity. Kaya naman po talagang malaking event po ito para sa inyo. And ano po ba currently yung mga projects po ninyo na pinagkakaabalahan niyo po ngayon sa inyong Archdiocese, Father Brian?
Oh, yeah, we are really renovating the Archdiocesan Museum of Cebu that started early this year in order for us to really showcase a newly renovated Archdiocesan Museum next year. And then we are also doing later on, I'm going to show the slideshows of the traveling exhibit of the treasures of the Archdiocese of Cebu, the sacred treasures, of the Archdiocese of Cebu that will travel throughout the Archdiocese to the mother parishes, to the Catholic schools, and eventually to the malls in order to really disseminate the information about culture and faith, and as well as the sacred arts that nourishes our faith. These are the sacred tools for evangelization, our sacred arts.
Okay. And bago po tayo tumungo sa iyong talk and your lecture ngayong gabi, matanong ko lang, and I'm curious about this, ano nga bang ibig sabihin ng salitang kapanulundanan?
That's a Cebuano term. Yeah, that's a Cebuano term that means in English heritage, no? Sunod, no? Gipasunod in Cebuano, that means it has been transmitted, given in order, pamana, no? It's also equivalent to pamana.
Okay. Akala ko bahandi kasi yun palagi ang ko eh. Yun yung
Bahandi is
narinig. Treasure. Pero kapalunundanan is heritage pala.
It's pamana.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So at this point, let's go ahead and start with your. We will start with your lecture. Let me just share my screen for you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Joel.
All right.
Now, once again, okay.
Sige po.
Okay. Once again, good evening, Joel. Good evening to those who join us tonight for this webinar, especially those who follow the Grupo Kalinangan, our partners for heritage. Now, this evening, I'm going to orient to you the heritage work, the engagements of the Archdiocese of Cebu when it comes to our conservation management of our sacred treasures here in the Archdiocese. We know that Cebu is very rich in our heritage structures, from churches to the ancillary buildings to the convents and museums and many more. Okay, next. Now, to guide us in our talk this evening, in our webinar, these are the set of outlines. Now, first, we will be orienting ourselves of the commission profile, because we will be focusing on the engagement of the Archdiocesan Commission for the Cultural Heritage of the Church, as well as its historical background, the mandates, the linkages, the committees, and after which I'm going to tackle on the pastoral plan. Since this is the realm of the church, we will always situate ourselves into the pastoral actions of the church when it comes to the conservation management of our sacred treasures. And after that, these are just pictures that I'm going to browse through in order just for us to show the recent engagements, especially when it comes to the conservation management, church construction and design consultation, are the archaeological site management, and lastly, the 500 Year of Christianity projects. Next. Now, let's go to the history next. Now, the commission is the concrete response to the directives of the Holy See, especially as contained in the circular letter Opera Artis. Now, this is a Latin term which means work of arts. No, published last April 1971. This is a mandate from the Vatican, from the Holy See, that directed all the bishops and priests to take care of their sacred treasures, safeguard, conserve, and most especially use it in order for it to be still part of the mission of the church as a great tool and aid for evangelization. And as well as in the spirit of the Second Plenary Council of the Philippines and in conformity with the sacred canons. That means the establishment of the commission is actually it has its legalistic foundations, most especially in the canon law of the church. Next. Now, let's go to the mandate. Now, the mandates of the commission are actually the guiding principles in which all our engagements are based upon. The commission has its mandate to superintend all the conservation, restoration, preservation initiatives of all the parochial churches and their adjunct structures and their holdings therein. It was canonically created to monitor the proper application of heritage conservation laws of the church as well as their civil effects. That means this commission is the pastoral arm of the Archdiocese of Cebu to see to it that all the projects in the churches when it comes to conservation, restoration, and even preservation are all in line of the conservation principles, both from the canon law as well as from the civil parlance. Okay, next. Now, these are the objectives. We will revisit the objectives of the commission in order for us to really understand where is the point of departure of the commission. Number one, and which is also the very important, the objective of the commission shall promote the cultural heritage of the church or the KAPANULONDANAN sa simbahan or the pamana as an invaluable aid to evangelization and catechesis. That means everything that the church owns, from the sacred architecture to the sacred arts, they are part of the whole mission of the church, and they're meant as tools and aids for evangelization and catechesis that is worthy of our protection, of our attention, as well as of safeguarding them so that we can entrust them and give them mapamana natin for the next generations to come. Because these things, this rich artistic and historical patrimony of the church are actually tools in order to nourish the faith of the people, to nourish the communal faith of the people. And therefore, they are very important for us to really take good care of them. Number two, shall foment research and understanding of the ecclesiastical cultural heritage. That means the work of the commission has to undergo research and understanding, because we are working here in a very objective manner, because this is as well as a very scientific endeavors. And that is connected to the number three objective. Shall serve as a consultative body on the scientific conservation of cultural ecclesiastical goods. That means the commission should be a resource to the archdiocese, to be the consultants when it comes to the scientific conservation programs of how to take care, of how to manage the rich artistic and the historical patrimony of the church. Number four, shall initiate and sustain collaboration between the committee and similar government and or civic agencies involved in the care, conservation, and appreciation of the cultural heritage of the church. And that later on we will see that we have a lot of linkages from the government agencies to the private agencies, even to the corporate agencies, in order for us to really work hand in hand, because this is a work that needs all kinds of help. No, we cannot. The commission is not something that is exclusive, but we are inclusive, and we invite a lot of people, groups, organizations to really aid us in our pursuit for the preservation of our cultural heritage of the church. Next. Shall act as the official liaison with the CBCP Episcopal Commission for the Cultural Heritage of the Church. Since the church is an institution, we also have an umbrella organization that is on the Episcopal level. And after that, it's the pontifical level. I'm only handling the Archdiocesan level, and under me are the parochial levels. That means we are actually in coordination with all these protocols, as well as the organizational structures of the church. Number six, shall undertake projects in different parishes upon invitation or authorization of and collaboration with the parish priest and the team of pastors concerned. That means whenever there are in need of interventions in the parishes, we can actually engage with all these projects with the invitation and authorization of the parish. And 7, last, shall recommend accredited contractors of the Commission to undertake projects in the parishes upon the authorization of the parish priest and the team of pastors concerned in collaboration with the Commission. Since we need all our frontliners, our contractors, our engineers, our architects, in order to really address issues in the conservation, we need to accredit them. This is just to transfer our knowledge, to work hand in hand, to have a leveling of our understanding, in order also to have a share of best practices when it comes to conservation measures. Okay, next slide. Now let's go to the linkages, because this is a very important aspect in the life of the Commission and in the work of the Commission. We have to be inclusive, not to be exclusive. We are actually in collaboration with other experts, with other agencies that are also whose mandates are in line with our mandates. First, in the government agencies, we have the NHCP, of course, and the NCCA, as well as the National Museum, who were very helpful and instrumental in the conservation, in the restoration of the damaged churches of the Archdiocese of Cebu, both Cebu and Bohol, after the 2013 earthquake. Therefore, we are very thankful for these agencies and the men and women behind these agencies who work tirelessly in order to restore the damaged structures of the church. And we also, in collaboration with the Cebu provincial government, as well as the Cebu city government, with CHAO, and this is a very special arrangement with the 53rd Engineering Brigade Visayas. Later on, you will see the Army from the Engineering Brigade in action, doing restoration work in one of our churches here in Archdiocese Cebu with a special agreement. And of course, we enter into MOA because that's already a public and private agencies. And lastly, from the government agencies, we have the DOT Region 7. Next. Aside from the government agencies, we also have the academe. We are in constant collaboration with the UST, as well as the Center for the Conservation of Cultural Properties and Environment in the Tropics, CCCPET, and as well as in the University of San Carlos and the Conservation and Heritage Research Institute and Workshop Studio called Cherish and SAFAD. Later on, you will see our engagements, our collaboration work in action with all these academic institutes. Okay, next. Other than the academe, we also have the private and corporate agencies. We have the RAFI, the Ramon Abuitis Foundation, especially the Kabihi sa Kabilin that happened supposedly today on the last Friday of the month of May as the Heritage Month. We work together with them when it comes to museum works. And we also work with Smart Communications, especially with the Public Affairs Office. Later on, you will see our projects with Smart and Inupub Media. Okay, next. Now, after the linkages, we will go to the committees because we designate our work according to the responsibilities of the committees. Of course, we have the Archbishop of Cebu as the very head of the organizational flow. We have the chairman. This is already the executive level. We have the assistant chairman. Ngayon, we don't have the assistant chairman. And we have 4 committees. Now, first, the Committee on Sacred Places, Arts, and the Architecture that conserves the tangible and the immovable goods and treasures of the Archdiocese. Here comes also the church construction and the design. Here we specifically see to it that all construction of new churches from ground up would follow the natural law of church construction, such as the permanence, verticality, and iconography. These are the focus points of the Commission when it comes to the consultations of the construction of new churches and design. Whereas the liturgical environment will go to another committee in the Archdiocese of Cebu, and that is the Committee on Worship. The second committee is the Committee on Ecclesiastical Museums, since we also have a lot of parochial museums such as Bantayan, Barili, Bolhoon, Argao, Dalaguet. Later on, soon to open their museums, Liluan and Sibunga. We are also in a kind of the governing body that would look upon the organizations as well as the scientific discipline of museology in our archdiocese. The third committee would be the Committee on Ecclesiastical Archives. Since there are also a lot of classifications or typology of archives, we also have our own archives housed in the museum. We have the personal archives of our past archbishops, especially Cardinal Rosales, Cardinal Vidal, and other bishops' personal effects and collections. We keep them as part of our collection in the archives. And lastly, the Committee on Heritage Tourism. Since tourism is really the end product of all our conservation efforts, we also have that committee in order to facilitate the proper consumption of tourism industry when it comes to the properties of the church. Okay, next. Then let's go to the periodic activities. These are the engagements. These are the works of the commission. First, the Heritage Conservation Training Workshop for the LGU engineers. Okay, browse through with the pictures, only 3 seconds. These are one of the engagements, talks, si Architect Ray, and that's okay. And Architect Ray from Cebu, we train the LGU engineers because they are the frontliners, especially in the provincial churches. Browse through. So that our LGU engineers can address first. They can address first issues when it comes to the restoration in the churches. Okay, next. We also have the Heritage Conservation Training Workshop for Cebu contractors. After we train the LGU engineers, comes the private firm, the contractors, especially in collaboration with CCA, Cebu Contractors Association, so that if the parishes would engage into projects, these contractors are now ready to handle conservation management programs. Okay, next. Okay, sige, browse through. Okay. Now, third, coordination with the parochial heritage committees and restoration projects. This is actually the bulk of the work of the commission, going to the parishes, meeting, listening to their plans, giving technical assessments, giving permission, or even revising their plans. These are really the bulk of the work of the commission. We are going to travel. Okay, browse through. If you notice, every meeting there is always food. Walang mangyayaring meeting pala kapag walang pagkain sa parokya. It's a no-no. That's always be the secret. To animate the conversation. The conversation when the meeting is held at the banquet. Okay, next. Okay, browse through with the pictures. Okay, a lot of meetings, walang katapusang meetings yung trabaho sa heritage. Okay, number 4, coordination with the NHCP, National Historical Commission, and the Philippines, especially after the 2013 earthquake. These are the parishes which incurred damage, and these are also the parishes in which NHCP downloaded funding for their conservation. Okay, browse through with the pictures. We have also pictures with the late Executive Director Vic. May he rest in peace. Okay. Browse through. This is in the, okay. Continue with our conversation, open line for dialogue. These are very important aspects in conservation work. Okay. Sige. Next. Okay, these are examples of the engagements, car before and after. Okay, continue. Cathedral before and after. That's in reference to the 2013 earthquake. This is in Bolhoon. One of the patrices was destroyed. Okay, continue. And then, okay, number 5, running the operations of the Archdiocesan Museum of Cebu. This is also an day-to-day affair and work of the commission, to run the museum. Now the museum is still closed to the public, but we are already open for events. Okay. Now this is the old convent of the Archdiocese of Cebu Cathedral Church. Okay, continue. Browse through. Okay. Now this is the organizational structure of our museum here in the Archdiocese of Cebu. Of course, the governing body goes to the Board of Trustees with the Archbishop. That's always the ex officio, the Archbishop of Cebu. We have the director from the executive level to the head curator, and we have 2 boards. We have the curatorial board that handles the exhibition, the collection, the education, the promotion, as well as the research and the documentation. That's really the bulk of the curatorial board. The operational board, since the museum is an old structure, we also have the conservation committee, structural maintenance committee, and the building and ground security committee. Okay, next. Now, this just to browse through with the museum, the life of the museum, the vision and mission of the museum, the background, one of the many events in the museum before. Okay, sige, continue. It's in our garden. The publication of the only book of the museum. Hopefully, there will be still coming. Okay, and then BOT meetings with the Archbishop of Cebu, with the board of trustees and directors, the Gabi sa Kabilin, one of the Gabi of Kabilin. Okay, one of the many opening of the exhibits at the museum. Okay, browse. Now, this is now the new museum, the newly renovated museum. Okay, browse through. Museum chapel that houses the first class relic as a collection of Cardinal Rosales. Okay, continue. This is the second floor in the permanent exhibit of the museum, by galleries, arranged into galleries, into classifications, as well as in the liturgical atmosphere of the church. Okay, continue this. Okay, now this is the BOT of the museum. Okay, browse through. Now let's go to the pastoral action. Since this is a pastoral arm of the Curia of the Archdiocese, we always have to consider the pastoral actions of the Commission, since we are handling the sacred arts of the Archdiocese as tools and aids for evangelization and catechesis. Okay, general objective. The cultural heritage of the Church specifically intends its pastoral programs for, number one, awareness and empowerment among lay members on how the valorization of the cultural heritage of the Church patrimony be an invaluable aid to evangelization and catechesis. That's why this is the very intangible of the tangibles of the Church, the theology, the spirituality of our church structures, why we have to protect them, why we have to restore them, conserve them, because of that, they are invaluable aid and tools for evangelization. They nourish the faith of the people. They sustain the faith of the people. Second, strengthen the capability of the parish cultural heritage committee in determining and responding to church heritage issues and concerns. After the spirituality level comes to the capability building, giving them the scientific disciplines of the conservation, directing them about the many principles to follow in conservation works. And thirdly, provide technical support and expertise. This is the ongoing, yung mga meetings namin sa mga parokya, this is already the pastoral aspect. Okay, next slide. Now, this is the schema. First, from the very core, it's the spirituality. The second is the capability building. The third is the pastoral plans. And the last is the vision and mission. Okay, that means the very core of this is the understanding of the spirituality of the work of the Heritage Committee. Okay, next. Now here, from first the spirituality, the strategy here is awareness raising. The component activity is the spirituality awareness seminar. This is to give seminar to the lay people about the spirituality of cultural heritage work. We have so many encyclical letters to be the materials in this kind of pursuit. Opera artists, the pastoral functions of ecclesiastical museums, archives, and the urgent tasks for the inventory of the cultural heritage, and so many canon laws, encyclical letters that direct to the very care of the sacred treasures of the Church. These are the talks and the modules. Okay, next. After the spirituality comes the capability building. Still a set of talks and seminars that has to offer the technicalities already, the discipline, the scientific knowledge and researches, This is where the capability building comes in. No? And as an example for this is the biennial of the national conventions organized by the CBCP, Episcopal Commission for the Cultural Heritage of the Church. No? These are updating of the current heritage practices, charters, principles, and even sharing of best practices. Okay. Now, after that, after the capability building comes the pastoral action. No? This is the ongoing, yung mga meetings. No? One parish needs consultation, guidance when it comes to their plans for their projects. Then here comes the pastoral action. We will always be available to all churches and to the parish administrators whenever we are called upon and ask about our expertise in order to help them out in their projects, starting from the planning to the execution and to the monitoring. Okay. Now, here in the technical support, we are also in collaboration with the University of San Carlos. We need the CMP here. No, this would be the primary tool in order for us to really guide the conservation programs of the Archdiocese of Cebu. Now, we have a MOA with the Cherish, with the University of San Carlos, identifying those parishes who cannot afford, then we will offer them for free as long as these parishes would support us in the logistical concerns and needs. No? And we also identify parishes that can somehow pay with the expenses of creating and drafting with the CMP. We are very thankful to the students of the architectural school of the University of San Carlos who would really of great help in creating plans and as well as identifying the morphology of our churches here in the Archdiocese. Okay, next. Now, risk assessment. Now, if there are a lot of risks, no, most especially, what if parishes will not participate in the program or will not follow the mandates of the commission? No, what will happen? Now, mitigation measures. A directive from the Archbishop of Cebu will be obtained to ensure the full participation of parishes in the program. No, kaya Father, meron na po tayong ganun, mga directives. No, it's just about talking to the parish priests and remind them of the responsibilities other than the spiritual pastoral programs of the parish, but as well as the heritage pastoral programs of the parish. Another risks. What if parishes will not honor their commitments after the seminar training program? No? What is the mitigation? The monitoring tool or a commitment tracker will be regularly presented in the monthly clergy recollection. The good thing about the institution in the church, especially here in the Archdiocese, we have our monthly gathering of all the priests. We see each other and even asks, kumusta na po? How was your project? And then that could be a monitoring tool for this kind of concern and as a mitigation. Lastly, parishes having no CMP, conservation management plan. What is the mitigation? Okay, as I've said, we have already have an agreement or a collaboration with the University of San Carlos, especially Cherish, to help us with the drafting and creating of the CMP. Okay, next. Now, let's go to the directives of the Archdiocese of Cebu because this is part of the canon law, especially here in the local church of the Archdiocese of Cebu, that all the parish priests, especially whose parish or church is considered to be a heritage, has to follow. Okay. Now, on May 2005, a circular letter signed by the late Eminence Ricardo J. Cardinal Vidal. This is concerning the norms governing church restoration. Okay, there are 6 norms. Okay, next. First, all proposed projects for the restoration, preservation, and remodeling of parochial churches and chapels be submitted to our Archdiocesan Commission for Cultural Heritage of the Church. That means every plan should be submitted to the Archbishop or to the pastoral arm of the Archbishop, which is the Commission or Archdiocesan Commission. It has to be submitted. They have to be informed. Okay. Second, the proposal shall consist of the architectural plan, site development plan, pictures, and bills of materials to be attached to covering letter of intent duly signed by the resident parish priest. Or even without those plans, even from the very start of the laying out of plans, we will always be there to help these parishes. Okay, next. Now, the aforementioned commission shall study the proposal and shall conduct an ocular inspection, those yung palagi namin pagpupunta sa mga parokya, and the site, inspection of the site to ascertain its conformity with the requirements of civil law on buildings and constructions or in the case of conservation, will follow conservation principles as well as the canonical legislation on liturgical environment. There are so many considerations to really be aware of, no? A lot of considerations to consider. Therefore, this is the work of the Commission. Number 4, after its study and ocular inspection, the Archdiocesan Commission shall transmit its observation and scientific recommendations, whether the plans are warranted or plans need to be revised. Okay, sige, next. This would be the last. No parish may commence restoration or remodeling work without the express permission of the Archbishop of Cebu, either directly through its office or through his pastoral arm, in order to avoid wastage of resources. Even no matter how the sublime and the intent of the parish priest, if their methodologies are not warranted, then it would always be a waste of resources. In order to avoid that, we should always be there to guide these parishes in order to see whether their plans are warranted or in line with or coherent or incohesive with the cultural heritage principles. Okay, next. Now let's go to these are recent engagements. These are just pictures. We will just browse through. Okay, Sambuan Parish, of course, the problem of Sambuan, just like any other coral stone churches, merong mga biogenic growth that needs to be cleaned up, and the stones need to be consolidated. Okay, next. This is in Argao Parish before and after. There are so many issues here in the left picture, morphologies, a lot. Chemical weathering, biogenic weathering, and even mechanical weathering. Then the right picture is after it was restored. Oslo Parish still incurred a lot of weatherings, biogenic and chemical. Ongoing na po yung mga mechanical cleaning and consolidation of masonry walls and coralline stones of these churches. Okay, next. Danao Parish, before and after. Before, there are a lot of plant boxes, in which we remove, in order to free up the stones and avoid rising damp. And we also we recover the beautiful moldings covered by these plant boxes, after we remove them. Therefore, do not put plant boxes directly to your stone churches. Okay. Next, Talisay Parish before and after the cleaning, masonry cleaning, as well as the consolidation of the masonry walls. Okay, next. Okay, very common problems here in the Archdiocese of Cebu due to unwarranted interventions before. They put the new posts closely to the old structure. And later on, it would corrode the rebars because of the sodium deposit of our coralline stones. What should be needed, it has to have a seismic gap or an insert in between the new and the old. Most highly recommended yung mga rubber. Okay, now here in Karkar Parish, removal of the palitada, which is cement base. It's not good for our old stones. It would somehow create a lot of deterioration if it is cement base. And the application of the lime-based palitada, slake lime, quick lime, slake lime. These are the compatible materials for our coral stones. Okay, next. Now, Malabuyog Parish still ongoing yung mga projects dito, cleaning up in order to retain the significance of these churches and as well as to perpetuate the life of these churches for us to give them to the next generation, mga pamana. Another problem, yung pag dinikit yung new restructuring of the belfry, pag dinikit, yan, it would corrode the rebars. Look at the rebars, they're already corroded and tinulak na po yung mga masonry. That's a very serious problem that needs big funding in order for this to be intervened. Okay, next. Okay, meetings with the Malabuyog stakeholders. Okay, next slide. Browse through. Another meeting, maraming kainan. Okay, now in Badian, another problem with their masonry components. And then, okay, next. Bantayan. Okay, cleaning up of the interior walls, no? A lot of biogenic growth. We use seawater, very, very effective cleaning agent. But afterwards, we will wash with tap water. Okay, continue. Okay, browse through with the pictures again. That's okay. This is in Compostela Parish, no? Before and after. We noticed that the palitada was a cement base. We removed that. Okay, that's the after. Still going on. Okay, next. These are the army of the 53rd Brigade Engineer. Engineering Brigade. I mean, we enter into a MOA with them, agreement with them, and they're very professional in their work, no? Because they're military. They're very well disciplined, no? And we just train them, orient them of the work of the heritage, of sharing of knowledge in order for them to execute, no? They work in Compostela Parish. Okay, these are their works already. Okay, continue. Browse through. Okay, now this is in the office of the General Katindoy, the Colonel, I mean the Commanding General of the 53rd Engineering Brigade based here in Cebu. Okay. Next, this is in Oslo. We demolish a structure that is very close to the church, no? In order to really avoid future problems in the church. Okay. And then it has been cleaned up already. Before there was a structure, a stage, and a court. No, we removed that. Okay. Next. Okay, now the conservation management of the Argao pipe organ. For 50 years, it has not been used. No, last 2015, it was, or 16, it was restored through the aid of DOT and NHCP and Diego Serra. Then we have the pipe organ restored already after 50 years of being silent, no? And we always have the yearly event, no, the pipe organ festival. We organize the community to sing along with the organ, to play along with the organ, and even invited professional organists in order to play, to highlight the organ, no, of the Argao. Okay, and we have 3 more pipe organs being restored other than Argao, no, Bulhoon, Dalaget, and we have also here in the cathedral. Okay, next. Now, this is the Patria project. No, we are also in closely monitoring, especially the archaeological site of Patria. Okay, since the lot is owned by the Archdiocese and it's now a BOT, build, operate, transfer with a private firm here in Cebu. Okay, browse through. Okay, one of the site meetings. Okay, a lot of meetings again. Now, archival records management here in Archdiocese Cebu. Okay. Now, in the museum, we have a place, a physical place, a physical archive of the personal archives, records of our past archbishops. No, okay. We can invite. We can actually receive researchers already. Now, another conservation management in Karkar Paris Convent. It's an old convent, and they restored it, retrofit it, because it's very weak already. Okay, okay. Constant communication, constant meeting, constant supervision. That's really the key of the work of the commission. No? Okay, next. Okay, now look at the book at the left side. It's 1845. That's the oldest canonical book in Liloan. No, we are also managing its conservation, and it's still a lot of work to be done. Okay, those are the conditions of one of the books. Okay, again, it needs a lot of work. Now, church construction and design, since this is part of the work and mandate of the commission, just see to it that we follow the natural laws of church construction, no, the permanence, the engineering, para hindi substandard yung ginawa. Yung verticality, it has its moving upwards, the massing upwards, and it's the iconographic programs, the use of sacred arts, the use of signs and symbols, and the appropriateness of the use of signs and symbols, no, because we are not this is a Catholic Church. No, we know Catholic Church are the patron of the sacred arts. No, therefore we need to really have the appropriate signs and symbols in our churches. No, okay. Now this is in DST, Msgr Kamomot's church. Okay, continue, browse through. Okay, next. Okay, now this is in Talavera Parish. There are so many parishes here, here in Archdiocese building their churches. Yung mga bagong parokya, yung mga barrio parishes, most especially. Okay, now we guide them, we coordinated with them in their planners, and so many meetings again. Okay, sige. Next, this is in Divine Mercy Shrine. Again, this is property of the Archdiocese. That's Architect Maxwell and Architect Yumi, Engineer Rudy, and Architect Stephen. Okay, next. Now, archaeological site management. Okay, next slide. This is in Karkar Parish. No, they dig a septic and they were able to come through this, no, human bones, and then we managed that through Dr. Jobers, Brisales, and Audrey and Massey. They were our frontliners when it comes to archaeological site management. No? Mostly these are salvage archaeological diggings because again, this one is in San Nicolas Parish. No, they're constructing something and they were able to come across with all the archaeological physical evidences, no, that might be of great use of our understanding of our prehistoric place. Okay, this is a marble thing. They were able to dig it up in San Nicolas Parish. Okay, these are the construction sites in which they were able to find these material evidences. And then here, the partnership of the Archdiocese of Cebu and Smart Communications. Okay, next slide. Okay, this Archbishop, then the key persons of SMART. We are actually entering into a collaborative work or partnership that they will provide us with technology that all our heritage churches are marked with QR, no? And those tourists, as long as they have their data and smartphones, they can scan the QR codes in our parishes, and a lot of information, historical information, pictures, and even activities of the parish will be downloaded in your phones. No need for local guides. Just scan the QR code and you will have a lot of information at hand. Okay. Now that's still ongoing, but we already mark a lot of churches here in the Archdiocese of Cebu, thanks to the help of Attorney Jane Paredes and SMART. And lastly, the 500 Years Christianity Project, still in collaboration with SMART. No? This is the, okay, next slide. This is the traveling exhibit with QR code and VR, virtual reality. No, this is a miniature of a church, and all inside you will see a lot of theological explanation of the areas of the church. Okay, why this area is this way, designed this way. It's not about the design of the church, but it's all about the theological meaning behind the designs. No. And there are QRs that would give you more information and more explanations and even more pictures. Okay, now this will be traveled all throughout the Archdiocese, hopefully, with the schools opened and with the parishes as well. Okay, pag wala kayong QR out, pag wala kayong data dito, you'll not enjoy this exhibit. There are only few narratives in the panels, but more on the QR code. Okay, next. And this exhibit comes also with a mobile app, for Android, for Apple users, and even for Huawei. This comes with a mobile app for free. You can download, and the title of that app is Panaw sa Pagtuo. It's a kind of catechism about our church structures. The theology behind our church designs, the spirituality behind our church aspects. Okay, now next. Now to conclude, it is the teaching of the church that her cultural heritage in symbol is a privileged means of evangelization. That's really the guiding point that directs the work of the commission and its engagements. In symbol as a privileged means of evangelization, rightly utilized, cultural heritage becomes not only a community heirloom, but the social responsibility for heritage management prolongs the identity of the people of God. One finds the best paragon for cultural heritage in the church buildings that had been constructed many centuries ago and continue to fulfill their mission, not only as town centers, but also a city built on a hill that cannot be hidden. Once again, good evening. May gabi sa tanan. Okay, I am also thankful for the members of the commission, no? From left, Carlos Apuhin, Architect Frankie Nespi, Ramo, Bonifacio Ramo, Dr. Jubers Versales, the head of the Episcopal Commission, Bishop Julito Cortez, the Executive Secretary, Father Ted Turalba, Tito Loy Alex, Audrey Tumada, Architect Maxwell, Ben Chua. Not in the picture is Architect Mel Bahaba and Engineer Rudy Alex. Okay. This is the commission of the Archdiocese of Cebu. Again, salamat.
Maraming salamat. Daghan salamat po sa inyo, Father Brian. That was a very wonderful talk. And wow, nakakamangha po talaga ang Archdiocesan Commission po ninyo. Napakarami po ng inyong naging proyekto at ng mga programa na talaga namang kailangan sundan ng iba pang mga parokya para mas lalo pong magkaroon po tayo ng mas marami pang mga simbahan na mapanatili ang kanilang pamana, no? Talagang role model nga po kayo, kumbaga. Salamat po sa inyong pagbahagi. Now, I have some questions for you, Father Brian. And I would also like to invite din ating mga manonood po ngayon para magbigay po ng kanilang mga katanungan kay Father Brian, no? This is via our Facebook live stream. So one of the pastoral actions that you stated in your talk earlier, no? Sinabi niyo po yun is that one of your pastoral actions is to provide technical support and expertise sa mga heritage church parishes sa mga conservation and restoration projects po ninyo. And syempre, alam naman po natin na hindi naman po lahat ng mga dioceses and archdioceses dito sa Pilipinas ay may ganong capability or capacity or even an active commission upang mapanatili at mapangalaga nila ang kanilang mga simbahan. Have you been able to also help provide technical support or knowledge transfer to other suffragan dioceses outside of the Archdiocese of Cebu? Or limited lang po ba kayo within your archdiocese? Hello? Father Brian, can you hear me? Okay. Were you able to hear my last?
Okay. I've been through other dioceses upon invitation and given them sort of talk, no, especially the spirituality aspect of the commission, and to be part as well of their conferences.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Okay.
Yes. How about me? Is my audio good? Okay, again, I've been invited for so many dioceses already. Sound check.
Yes,
Yes.
we can hear you.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Okay. Now, again, to answer your question, Joel, I've been invited already with few dioceses here in the country to give as well trainings and seminars when it comes to conservation management programs. So also with the best practices of the Archdiocese of Cebu.
Mm-hmm. So, throughout your work, no, sa commission and sa pangangasiwa po ng inyong mga proyekto, mga programa, I'm pretty sure you've went through some conflicts, misunderstandings, and of course, there would most likely have been instances where you somehow became at odds with
Okay,
some
next question.
diocesan priests. Oo. Na, pero, nasabi niyo na po yun kanina, no? Pero, kayo po, how are conflicts or disagreements being managed at your level as chairman? How are usually that being managed? Kasi you mentioned it about like having a directive by the bishop, but on your level, how does the commission get to manage those conflicts or disagreements? Because they're bound to happen at some point. So when that happens, what do you do? Are we having are we having a audio problem? Meron po ba tayong narinig niyo po ba ako, Father Brian? Hello? Hello,
Okay.
Father Brian, can you hear me?
Okay.
Okay.
Now, actually, regularly, yes. I can hear you loud and clear. Okay. Now, to answer your question, Joel, yes, there are a lot of challenges that we encounter. No, most especially with different views, different perspectives. First, before we go to the parishes, we also have to level off our understanding to the certain issues. That's why we have our monthly meetings. And before we start our meeting, I will celebrate Mass with my members, no? Because this is a church commission. There should always be Mass in the beginning, and that helps a lot, no? And we listen, no? We understand the issue. We make a stand before we go to the parish, no? So that para hindi kami iba-iba yung mga prinsipyo namin pagdating na namin doon sa field. We have to iron out first to make a concerted stand in addressing that certain issue before we go to the parishes. Now, in the parish level, it's very important that we establish relationship with the parish priests. Kasi pag wala tayong magandang relasyon sa mga parish priests, even if we are in the right foot, and even if we are talking here with scientific things, then it will never be welcome with this priest, no? We need to have a good relationship with them. It's more of a collaborative work. No? It's not that we go there as a nuisance, but as resources. No, we go there not as police, but we go there as partners. No, we are not there to really criticize them, but to listen. No, and give them the proper understanding and knowledge transfer in order for them to really understand the point of departure of the commission. And there are a lot of conflicts that have been resolved with this kind of way. No? It's more about being friendly and collaborative partners with the parishes.
Okay. All right. So, I think we're just having some latency or lag lang sa ating audio, but I think Father Brian can hear us well naman. Meron lang pong delay because he's coming all the way from Cebu. But my next question, Father Brian, no, this is a personal question, no. What was the hardest part? What was the hardest project na implement nyo na under your helm? Can you tell us more about your experience as chairman of the commission?
Okay. Now, I've been into this commission before I was ordained priest. No, right after my graduation of my Master's in Cultural Heritage in UST, I was able to help the late Monsignor Carlito Pono, the chairman before, to be his assistant. No, and I became the chairman last 2013. That was in time for the
Okay. I think naputol na po siya.
the concerns, no, the aftermath of the 2013 earthquake, and it's really a
Okay. We're having some technical difficulties at the moment, mga kapamana. We'll have to ask Father Brian to reconnect and see if we can still hold on. Okay. All right, nawala na nga po siya. I think we had a problem with the internet connection in Cebu. Okay. we're being joined by Father Brian Brigoli all the way from Cebu. So we're going to wait for a few seconds. Hopefully he gets to reconnect with us. Marami po tayong mga katanungan from the audience right now, and hopefully we are able to to get him. Okay. Well, ayan na uli siya.
naputol.
Let's see here.
Naputol.
Ayan.
Okay.
Naputol ulit. Okay. Please continue, sir. Father
Okay.
Brian.
Yes. Again, the hardest point of my work is when I became the chairman of the commission right after the earthquake of 2013. That means I have to address a lot of problems as the aftermath of the earthquake. And there are 20 churches that's been incurred damages due to that earthquake, and a lot of meetings, coordination with a lot of agencies, NHCP, NCCA, National Museum, and LGU, the province, and a lot. It's really the most difficult year of my being a chairman of the commission.
Mukha nga talagang napaka-challenging yun. And I was a witness to that, no? I was part of the whole time that from the time that the earthquake happened all the way to today, when we're still in the tail end of the restoration works. But that was really wonderful that like 90 to 95% of all our churches have been fully restored na, and we're just waiting for a few more in Bohol to be finally restored, like yung simbahan sa Maribohok and Loon. But yeah, I do agree. Those were the most challenging times, no? So ano pa yung mga ninyo? Ano pa mga plano ninyo as chairman of the commission? Ang dami niyo na po kasi nagawa over the years. What else does the commission intend to do in the next 5 or 10 years?
Actually, I presented periodic activities of the commission. We still need to do that because we want that a lot of people, especially the young architects, the young engineers, to continue to understand the work of the commission, the new sets of the PPC, the new sets of priest administrators of that particular parish, there's still a lot of things to do, since the organization and the administration of the parish here in Archdiocese, and that is also true to all the parishes in the world, the Catholic churches in the world, that there are always reshuffling of administrators. Kaya pag bago yung mga pare, we need to go there to conduct all the seminars. Pag bago yung pare, bago na naman yung mga PPC officers, no? That's why walang katapusang trabaho to, Joel. It's a periodic activities.
Yeah, talagang ano nga, continuous ang work, and the work doesn't seem to stop. Okay. Meron po tayong mga katanungan from the different viewers right now, and I will flash it on the screen right now. Siguro ano ko po, no? Mamimili po tayo ng ilang mga magagandang katanungan po dito. Okay. We have a question from one of our viewers, si Mr. John Guaren. Ang kanyang katanungan ay, aside from the tangible cultural heritage, what can we do to help preserve the intangible, such as the music or the gozos tune, the hymns that have no notation, and other traditions? We are waiting for his answer. Okay, we got disconnected yet again. Hey, nako, this is something that, well, it happens. Let's see. We'll ask Father Brian to reconnect yet again. I think there's a problem in our internet bandwidth there in Cebu at the moment. But let's see if we can get him back. Hold on. Okay. Well, there are other questions coming from our audience right now. Oh, this is a really wonderful note from one of our viewers on YouTube. Salamat po sa inyong inspiring talk. Are you restoring the beautiful Escuela Católica in Bulhoon? My team filmed part of Patay na si Jesus. Uy, napanood ko to. This is really wonderful. I really love this movie. Sobrang nakakatawa siya at sobrang heartfelt. There was a scene in Bulhoon. The escuela wasn't in a happy state then. But yeah, I think we would like to hear something from Father Brian kung makakabalik pa po siya. Ayan. Ano si Father Brian? Okay. Father Brian, welcome back.
Naputol naman ulit. Okay, sige.
Okay
What was the question, Joel?
Yeah. Okay. Let me flash the question again. Ito po. Ito po nasa screen po ninyo. Aside from the tangible cultural heritage, what can we do to help preserve the intangible, such as music, like the gozos tune, hymns that have no notation, and other traditions?
Okay, actually, we're working now with Diego Serra in order to really restore the old cantorals and to play it with the pipe organs. And we have this ongoing training to the local organists, to the Argao Parish, Bulhoon, and Dalaget, since they have their pipe organs, no? That is still part of the knowledge transfer, no? That's part of it, no? And mostly of our intangibles, what are the other tangibles? The rituals of the church are also being worked out in our museums, no? That could be the best institution to really preserve, educate, and exhibit and as well as curated to the public. And that's one aspect that we are still working on.
Okay. Another question
Actually,
from one of our...
last week,
Yes, do you have something to say or
okay,
to add? Father
actually,
Brian?
last week lang po, yes. Yeah, last week lang po, nag-conduct po kami ng training together with Diego Serra uh, in the area of the proper use of the pipe organs. No, it was conducted in Karkar together with the other participants in Argao, from Bulhoon and Dalaget. Okay, that's actually an ongoing program of the church, and it was not included in my presentation, but actually it's an ongoing thing.
Okay. We have another question coming from one of our viewers in YouTube. Ito po. Ito po sabi niya, salamat po sa inyong inspiring talk. Are you restoring the beautiful Eskwela Katolika in Bulhoon? My team filmed part of Patay na si Jesus in 2016 in Bulhoon. This is a very popular film. It's a comedy film, by the way, Father Brian. And back in 2016, the eskwela wasn't in a happy state then. Napanood niyo po ito, Father Brian? This is a laugh trip na comedy to actually. But yeah,
Okay.
What the question is, are you going to restore the Eskwela Katolika?
Okay. Actually, during the term of Father Joey Bilsenia, that was 2 years ago, and now with the new parish priest, with Msgr Art, they were actually cleaning up the Escuela Talier, making it as a venue for religious exhibits and displays, and it's really something that has been taken care of by the parish level, no? Since it was not included in the national level of the restoration funding after the earthquake, but it was under the local funding, especially from the parishes. And we know if it's a parish level, we always have the difficulty of downloading funds, no? Yung makaya lang ginawa ng sa mga parokya when it comes to the restoration projects in their churches.
Okay. So bilang pangwakas, Father Brian, and I know you have another mass to attend to later tonight. O nga po. Ano po may mumungkahi po ninyo sa mga nanonood sa atin ngayon sa Pamana Talks, na kabilang din po sa mga ibang parokya at mga ibang parish pastoral councils? Any message that you could give to them on how they could better preserve their church cultural heritage?
Okay. Now, first and foremost, we don't need to be experts in the field, but as long as we have that sense of sensitivity, as good caretakers, in Latin it's called curare, which the English term comes curator, no, caretakers, no, curare, caretakers, to curate. That comes from the word curator. It's already a good thing, no? Since we have this sensitivity to be good curates with our heritage items, and most especially the faith that we have would always join us in our taking care of our valorization, of our safeguarding, of our rich artistic and historical patrimony of the church. It is really a pastoral work, and it is a work of a person who has faith.
Yes, I truly agree. It's a work of faith. Na preservation of our churches is a work of faith. Yeah. So with that, daghang salamat po sa inyo, Msgr Brian Brigoli, for giving us a very wonderful talk tonight. And a lot of people have been inspired from your talk on your works as the chairman of the Church Cultural Heritage of the Commission on the Church Cultural Heritage of the Archdiocese of Cebu. And as we always say here at Grupo Kalinangan at sa Pamana Talks po natin, padayon po sa inyo. Okay. Maraming salamat po ulit sa ating guest speaker ngayon na si Msgr Brian Brigoli all the way from Cebu City. So, para po sa lahat po ng mga nag-register sa ating Pamana Talks ngayong gabi, para po makuha po ang inyong certificates, make sure that you fill out the the evaluation form na nakikita nyo po sa screen po ninyo. Ito po ang aming link to the evaluation form.
Thank you, Joel. Thank you for inviting.
Maraming salamat din po. So please fill out the evaluation form at bit.ly/pamanatalkseval 28 May 2021, and we're now going to flash it on your live stream as well, and we're going to post it as well on the GKI Pamano Community Facebook page. Okay? So, para po ma-receive po ninyo ang inyong e-certificate of participation, please make sure that you fill out the evaluation form before midnight tonight. Okay? And, you know, it's been a very wonderful time with you, mga kapamana. And thank you po sa lahat po ng mga nanonood po sa atin ngayon. And thank you po para sa mga naging tagapagsuporta po namin, especially ngayon sa National Heritage Month. And sana po marami po kayong nakapulutang mga aral at madadala niyo po ito na may papabahagi niyo po din sa inyong mga komunidad. Yung mga aral po na napulot po natin from our guest speakers from the last few weeks, starting from Architect Reynaldo Lita of the NHCP, kay Architect Dominic Galicia of the Galicia Architects and Ecomos Philippines, kay Architect Karin Paredes Santillan ng UST College of Architecture, and of course, ang ating guest speaker tonight na si Msgr Brian Brigoli from the Cebu Archdiocesan Commission for Church Cultural Heritage. So again, nagpapasalamat po kami sa lahat po ng mga sumuporta po sa aming Pamana Talks, especially sa mga nagbigay po ng donations together with their registrations. Salamat po mula sa kaibuturan ng aming mga puso. So patuloy po tayo magbibigay ng mga balita at mga impormasyon tungkol sa ating pamana, sa ating Grupo Kalinangan Facebook page. So please like us on our Facebook page at Grupo Kalinangan. Also follow us on our Twitter and Instagram. And also subscribe to our official YouTube channel at Grupo Kalinangan, and subscribe to our official newsletter by enlisting yourself and enter your email address at grupokalinangan.org. And you can also like the NHCP official Facebook page at facebook.com/NHCP1933, and the National Quincentennial Committee official Facebook page at facebook.com/NQC2021. Okay? And with that, para po sa inyo ngayong gabi, bilang pangwakas sa ating Pamana Talks ngayon, gusto po namin kayong iwanan naman ng isa pong quote. This time, this quote is coming from a well-known Mexican novelist and essayist by the name of Carlos Fuentes, who lived from 1928 to 2012. And he said, "Culture consists of connections, not of separations. To specialize is to isolate." Okay, so hanggang dito po muna mga kapamana, at kami po ay pansamantalang magpapahinga. Ngunit antabay lang po kayo, at marami pa po tayong mga palatuntunan, mga parating sa nalalapit po na panahon, lalo na po sa ating Pamana Talks. In the meantime, stay safe. Happy Heritage Month po. Happy National Flag Day. At padayon po para sa ating pamana. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat.
Mandirigmang